Hey, welcome back to my channel. Wanted to make sort of a different video today, outlining some maybe tips or strategies, or I guess I'll just call them things that I do to make reading more fun in my everyday life. And that's reading should be fun. Reading is a enjoyable hobby. It's a great hobby. It keeps your mind sharp. There's always books to read. You can never run out of things to read. And so, as it is sort of one of the few lifelong hobbies you can have, there are definitely times when it can slow down, and reading slumps are a thing for a reason. So I wanted to share maybe some strategies that I use, maybe not even strategies, just things that I do to make reading fun in my day-to-day life. First things first, just wanted to shout everyone out here that's watching real quick. Thanks again for all the support, all the comments, all the likes. I like that we're building a little itty-bitty community here. We'll definitely keep this gravy train going. Definitely seeing some familiar faces returning in the comments section, so appreciate it very much so. Thank you all for that. Now let's get right into it. Just have 4 things to talk about today, so it should be a quick video. First one, things first, which may sound sort of like a no-brainer, but it really breaks things down into simple terms, and that is to just read fun books. Not everything you read has to be some literary masterpiece and, worldview altering, work of literature. You can take the liberty and read the fun books every now and again, or all the time if that's what you're into. But that's something that I have been not working on, but maybe struggling at times, was letting myself read a more, I don't know, not silly book, because all books have sort of some intense meaning behind them, but reading, I guess, books that I find fun. And everything you read, like I said, doesn't have to be some great magnum opus and some world-renowned classic. You can read some fun books, and you don't have to read what's popular or what's trendy, or read whatever the latest big author's release is. Read what you want to read, and I guarantee you that will make your reading more fun. Second thing I have, and you can do this in a multitude of ways while reading or before or after reading, is to find a way to maybe reward yourself on the days that you didn't quite feel like reading, but you still did it anyway. Maybe that's, excuse me, going to a coffee shop to read, and you'll sip on your favorite coffee while you do it, or some sort of reward if you hit a specific page count or chapter count. The list can go on and on. I typically use the coffee reward more often than not when I'm utilizing this strategy here, and I think a little bit of caffeine keeps you focused as well. There's probably some truth to that as well, but find what works for you in terms of rewards. Maybe you just feel like, I don't know, playing video games at night or watching TV, but read 10 pages first or something like that, and maybe it will snowball into reading more than 10 pages. Maybe you'll read 15, maybe you'll read 20. Oh, excuse me. But I find that just starting a couple of pages definitely translates into reading more than not, and having those little rewards on the back end can definitely kickstart that reading process for you. All right, next tip I have here that sort of maybe coincides with the last tip, I guess, in the way that I utilize it, and this may sound weird or odd again, but my tip is to read in different locations. I find that taking myself out of my bedroom here and sitting in maybe a different chair, getting out of my usual reading spots and going someplace else can sort of pseudo stimulate my mind, and definitely make me want to read just a little bit more. Whether I mentioned the coffee shop example earlier, but whether or not it's a coffee shop or a park or even the library. I know those are few and far between these days anymore, which is a shame, but pick a spot. Maybe it's outside on your porch or your deck or what have you, or maybe it's just a different room than your normal sitting room. Pick a different spot to read than you normally do, and I find for myself personally that it can help sort of motivate me maybe to read in that location, or just give it a shot and see if that works for you. I know it does for me from time to time. And the fourth and final thing I do to keep myself sort of in the reading mood and make reading a more enjoyable experience is to talk to other people about books. That's sort of the reason I started this channel as well, just to, if nothing else, talk to myself about books and use it as a little log as to what I've been reading, and a good comparison tool year over year as to the books I read and how my tastes have changed. If you have friends that read, definitely find some healthy discourse in there, or with family members, significant others, things of that nature. I know my girlfriend and I talk about books a little bit here and there, which is always fun. And I talk to my mom about books that she's reading and books that I'm reading as well. I've actually gotten my sister to start reading back up again. She just made a Goodreads account and is hooked, and she got a Kindle for Christmas, and so it's a fun time here in the house. But yeah, definitely talking to other people. Maybe there's a little element of accountability in there as well, that you want to be included in those conversations. Sort of similar to a book club. There's if you meet with a book club once a month and you're expected to read this book or this certain amount of pages, there's a little bit of accountability in the back of your mind that can definitely spark something to get to reading. And I find that once I start reading, I definitely like it more than whatever I was planning on doing previously. It just sometimes starting the reading for the day can be a bit of a burden. So these are just 4 things that I do sometimes to sort of bring that spark back into it. I guess maybe a bonus tip that I just sort of thought of with the holiday season just past us here is to gift books, so that finding a book that you think a certain someone will like that you have read before can get you to think critically about that book. Maybe read others like it, maybe reread it again. I just gifted my parents both a book that I read last year, new copies of them obviously, but I read them last year and I figured that they would like them. And I was sort of thinking in that gifting mindset of, hey, I think they would like it for this reasons and things of that nature, and that coincides with talking to them about books. I was able to share why I think that they would like the books, and then once they finish them, they could talk to me about them, and I could talk to them, and we can have that conversation once they finish those books. So yeah, I guess that was five things I do to sort of help make reading more fun, more enjoyable for me. I appreciate everyone that stuck around up until this point. Thanks again for all the likes, all the comments, even a couple of subscriptions here and there. This has definitely been fun to start up. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I still don't. So we're learning as we're going. This has been a fun time, and I'm looking to keep it going. So with that, hope everyone has a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks, guys.